get started. So thank you all for coming back this afternoon for this next session, which I'm really excited about, which is the case study from Edmonton. So this is really exciting in terms of a large sporting event. Before we get into it, let's give it some context by playing the video. 1 second.
One of the first things that we wanted to consider when we were looking at a hub city was where were and are the safest places, in this environment with a pandemic going on. And then when we looked at the various cities, our NHL cities in Canada, we also realized that Edmonton was a great choice.
There's a reason why Edmonton is ranked 3rd in the country and 33rd in the world as a sport hosting destination. It's because we truly believe in harnessing the power of partnerships to achieve great things together. And, that's exactly what happened with the NHL Hub City here in Edmonton.
We cleared barriers all the way along to make this not only happen, but ensure that it was going to be safe, which was the biggest question the NHL and the NHL players were asking is this going to be safe?
The NHL came to us under very short timelines with the bar set extremely high. You need to deliver a safe and successful event. They threw a lot at us, as they should have. And our attitude was, you know what, leave it with us. We'll talk to our partners. We'll get back to you. And we'll get it done.
And this was a priceless opportunity for us to, connect with hockey fans around the world and try and change some perceptions about our city to a fan base that typically only sees us in the winter months.
Well, one of the reasons why we knew this was going to work well in Edmonton was all the work that we've done with the Oilers and the Cates group to build out our downtown and Ice District in particular. All of these places that were dark because of the pandemic, where we wanted to bring some economic life back. But because it's all concentrated in our downtown as part of our downtown revitalization, just meant that everything was going to be tight. All of that new infrastructure, including especially one of the best rinks in the league, that really made this an attractive and safe place to do this.
Having the Ice District now developed with the JW Marriott Hotel, the plaza outside the arena, and then the arena itself was a huge advantage for us to come to Edmonton. This is a state-of-the-art arena, maybe one of the finest, if not the finest in the entire NHL. And one of the chief reasons why we felt this was going to be a great place to come to.
We really heard that from the league and the players, that the quality of amenities in Ice District, it really helped what was a challenging situation for some folks to be away from their families for an extended period of time.
I was fortunate enough to be invited by Explore Edmonton into the NHL bubble this year to do my thing, to do what I do best, and that's cook. As a chef, I'm well aware of what's going out, and I know if I'm happy with it or if I'm not, and I was extremely happy with everything that went out. And then on top of that, walking around the dining room, talking to all of the guests that joined me for the dinners, it was nothing but great feedback, which is really cool because these are guys from New York and, all these big cities around the country and around North America. They're telling me that my food is delicious, and it was just really nice to hear.
With 0 positive COVID-19 results from within the bubble, I think the NHL Hub City really showed that with the right health protocols in place, it is possible to host a major event in the middle of a pandemic.
For us, for the city, for our partners with Others Entertainment Group, it was an absolute honor. But as far as servicing, it's what we do. So it became very normal very quickly. Every event comes with different expectations, and that's really how we tackled it. This one just had some very unique ones under very different circumstances.
Well, the city has a great hosting tradition, but clearly this sets us up for more great success in Rogers Place in downtown Edmonton.
People are recognizing that Edmonton is a wonderful place to do a big sporting event. So they have my vote here in Edmonton as the #1 host city. I mean, they were fantastic.
We can offer events like this next weekend. We're ready. We're prepared. Right now, it just comes down to instilling that confidence that people can meet in this environment. And it can be productive, and it can be engaging, and it can be fun. Just have to add some layers to it.
It was a pretty significant strain on the organization, but you take a step back, and I've been asked, now that you've gone through it, would you do it again? And the answer is an emphatic yes. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity, tremendous source of pride for the city of Edmonton. And so to be a part of that was something that was pretty special.
I think the event industry is fully aware that there will be enhanced measures, even with a vaccine widely distributed. And I think we're going to be experiencing this for the next few years. And Edmonton has shown its experience to business events, to sport and cultural events, that we do health and we go above and beyond for our partners, and we always will.
Hello, welcome. 1 second, I'm just going to change my microphone so it's like it was before. 1 second. Thank you. Welcome. So that was a little taster of the video for the case study that we're about to just discuss. But before I do, wherever you are watching from, we'd like to reflect and acknowledge the original stewards of the lands you are from. I'd like to invite Janelle to provide a land acknowledgement as an act of Canada's reconciliation to acknowledge the promises that their ancestors made, and remind us all of the obligations to work together and share the land and experiences while appreciating and embracing cultural differences. Over to you, Janelle.
Thank you, Shatan. Explore Edmonton respectfully acknowledges that we are located within Treaty 6 territory and Métis Nation of Alberta Region 4. We acknowledge this land as the traditional home for many Indigenous peoples, including the Nehewak, Niitsitapi, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Dene, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Inuit, and many others whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community.
Thank you, Janelle. Just to say, that's amazing. I mean, I've never seen that before. It's quite. What is the background of that? Because it sounds brilliant. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Canada, we, as part of our reconciliation, as part of Truth and Reconciliation, this is one of the steps that we've taken as an organization, and you'll see many organizations just acknowledge the land that they're on, to pay tribute to those that came before us and to the treaty that was made.
Well, I really loved that. I thought it was brilliant. Right, let's get into the matter at hand. So let's do some quick introductions. Say your name, where you're from, the company, and your kind of role in this event that was pulled off. So staying with you, Janelle.
Great. So my name is Janelle Janis. I'm the director of Edmonton Events, which is a strategic partnership between the City of Edmonton and Explore Edmonton. So together we are Edmonton's primary source that attracts major sport and cultural events to our city. And this partnership is really quite unique. We try to be that one-stop shop for clients that are hosting events in our city. Obviously, given that this event was anything but normal, the role that Edmonton Events played was also not entirely normal either. But the city side of the partnership really supported the event by garnering that municipal support from the mayor to really land this event here, and assisted with countless civic services that were needed for the event and to host it successfully. And I'm sure we'll get into a lot of that later on. And then from a tourism perspective, the Explore Edmonton side of the partnership really tried to leverage this event to showcase our city during the summer months. As I mentioned in the video, it's really a time that this fan base doesn't have the opportunity to see Edmonton, since the NHL playoffs are never hosted during that time. So as one of two bubbles for this event, we knew millions of eyes would be on Edmonton, and we really wanted to make the most of it.
Fantastic. Stephen.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Stephen Walton. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for the JW Marriott Edmonton Ice District. We sit, lack of better words, center ice in what will be Canada's largest mixed-use entertainment district. We are connected to the primary arena, Rogers Place, which was featured in the video. My role in this was the primary hotel contact for Edmonton. I helped in the very beginning with cleanliness protocols and working with the league and Rogers and Oilers Entertainment Group, as well as the other hotel partners that were involved in this. So that was my primary, if I were to do it in about 15 seconds, but we'll get into some more of the fun details as we go on.
Thank you. And Nicola, who probably doesn't need any introduction because everyone knows you, but let's do it anyway.
Well, I may be wearing a different hat now. Some of you may know me from my previous role with Travel Alberta, but I'm now so excited to be part of the team at Explore Edmonton. So I'm business development based in the UK for Explore Edmonton, which is the venue management and destination marketing organisation for the city of Edmonton. So I'm really here in the UK to, I guess, provide that sort of international and European lens to the team. And this, I'm working specifically with the meetings and conventions team who call themselves Edmonton All In, which we are. We're that all in partner in the destination. So, and I can't really say I had any role to play in this whatsoever, apart from bringing this, and thank you to Chetan for providing this opportunity for us to share just what I think is such an incredible event that happened last year. And when I heard that this was happening, I just knew I had to share it with the UK community. And so I'm kind of going to stand back now and let these experts talk about the event.
Lovely. We'll see you a bit later, Nicola. Thank you. It is a great case study and one that we can hopefully all learn from on several levels. Let's start at the beginning in terms of what is the Stanley Cup playoff? I mean, is it the equivalent of FA Cup in the UK? What is it?
The Stanley Cup playoffs. I would, it's tough to put it in a region, but I would say whatever sport it is that brings you the most passion, that has a wide, massive audience that you literally grow up with. You learn to walk and then you learn to skate very quickly after. That is what the NHL is to Canadians and North Americans. It is the professional hockey league. It is the best players in the world. And it is an international sport. We have players, while it's predominantly Canadian, that has changed dramatically over the years. So we have they have players from all over the world. The playoffs itself is recognized as the Stanley Cup itself is recognized as one of the toughest trophies to win. The reason being is they play best of 7 series. There's 4 of them, and you need to win essentially 16 times in about 2 months. They are grueling. I think when you talk to most players after they've won it, they just say it's the hardest thing they've ever done. Where we fit in is the NHL had to do a couple of bubbles because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So they, and Janelle's going to speak to it a little bit, but essentially whittled it down to 2 cities in Canada, Toronto and Edmonton. And then Edmonton took it from the semifinals all the way through to the finals. But the Stanley Cup, it is something else. I think when you're next to it, it gives everybody goosebumps. One fun story with the Stanley Cup is you're actually never supposed to touch it unless invited or unless you've won it. So
you touched it, didn't you?
I did not touch it. I was not invited to. So there we go. But we have a great picture of our director of event planning and operations on the last day when the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won the Stanley Cup, he went up to help package it up, putting it in his boxes. And the captain, Steven Stamkos, asked him if he'd like to lift it. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But he insisted. So we have a great picture of Jordan holding the Stanley Cup above his head.
Wow.
I hope that gives the league justice. It's something else. We just grow up with it. It's part of our blood.
Janelle, are you a fan? Did you follow?
Yeah, I mean, you're, like Steven said, you're born into it, and whoever your parents cheer for, it's just in your blood. Okay. You have to cheer for them. And the thing that was really special in 2020, I guess special is that's maybe not the right word, was that this was the first time in history that the NHL teams could bid to host the Stanley Cup playoffs and finals. Typically the games are just played in the home teams of the cities that continue to move on to the next round. And I hate to admit this, but Edmonton hasn't been in a Stanley Cup final game, I think, since 1990. Stephen, is that 1990 or 1989? So that's
no, close. 2006.
Well, the finals, though.
Yeah, 2006, we lost. There is still it's right here. It sits somewhere around here. 2006 was the last time we made the finals, and we lost.
Last time we made a cup. Then I guess last time we hosted, we were able to host. We were able to win the cup in 1990.
But we are the last true dynasty. Sorry, we can talk about hockey.
Yeah, you two are going to go talk about hockey. Last time we win the cup. Let's just talk something else that you said. The Ice District. That sounds really cool. What is the Ice District?
The Ice District is it started as 25 acres of surface parking lot about 5-6 years ago. Well, 6-7 years ago now. Pretty much in the heart of our downtown. Edmonton's downtown had been underserviced for quite some time, so there is a whole history there. But Mr. Cates and Weathers Entertainment Group recognized an opportunity in partnership with the city to really grow our downtown and help revitalize our downtown. And what happened was they took that 25 acres of surface parking lot and have turned it into what will be Canada's largest mixed-use entertainment district, which has been branded Ice District. My hotel is there, the JW Marriott. Rogers Place is obviously the key anchor. That's where the primary concert venue is, and then of course with the Edmonton Oilers, and then our minor hockey team, the Edmonton Oil Kings, play. We have Stantec Tower here as well. That's the largest tower west of Toronto, and then we just across from the Plaza, which was featured very quickly in the video. We're building out huge restaurants and another tower and City Market, Whole Foods, and a number of other pieces. So it's really meant to be a entertainment area for Edmonton and Western Canadians to gather and live and work and play. Okay.
Well, let's start at the beginning in terms of this event. There was a desire to hold it, and you had to pitch. So I know you guys were sort of the entertainment. Is it the Oilers group who kind of led the pitch? But just tell us a little bit about who were you pitching against, which other cities, and why do you think Edmonton won? What was the USP?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, at the time, events were canceling left, right, and center, and there were just layers of challenges and regulations that really prevented us from all doing our jobs. I think everybody on this platform can relate to that sentiment. And so, when the Oilers Entertainment Group told us that Edmonton had the opportunity to host, hockey's most coveted sporting event in our city, we really jumped at the opportunity to leverage this for Edmonton and to make it happen successfully. Vancouver was in the running for a time. Vegas was a big contender. Toronto obviously ended up being one of the hub cities. Vancouver's health authorities ended up not supporting it, so they had to kind of take their names out of the hat and out of the running. And so really, this event only had one objective, and that was for the Stanley Cup to be played from start to finish in a city safely. That would be the definition of success. So at the end of the day, OEG ended up submitting the best and safest hosting plan. Obviously, Edmonton has a reputation for being a great host city. Everything Stephen just said about the Ice District really set us apart, being able to truly contain the bubble within a 3-block radius. And I think there was a lot of it, the partnerships that we've managed to create within our city to just kind of get things done. The right people really came together for this event with a vision of making it happen safely in our city. It also helped that we had the great support from our municipal and provincial governments. Our premier and our mayor were quite vocal about their support to host this event in Edmonton. I think our premier even wrote to our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, to explain how important this event was for our community. It's because they know how important the event industry is for our economic recovery. And they also knew that we would exceed the highest standard of health and safety requirements. So I think a big driver of winning was also because of our daily COVID numbers. They were in the teens compared to being in the thousands, like in Vegas. So the NHL knew we wanted it. Our city wanted it. We supported it. Our public health officials backed the bid that OEG submitted. So it was just all around huge collaboration and partnerships that were the reason why we were selected.
Great. And then, so I'm going to come on to 2 points here, which was at the pitch stage. From what I understand, it rose from 8 teams to 12, which is a 33% increase. And also the timelines from being appointed to delivery. Talk us through a bit of those challenges. Stephen, let's come to you first.
It went in a couple of parts. So we closed our hotel doors April 1st due to COVID. We all know what happened in the industry. So we closed April 1st. Marriott had put their commitment to clean in, and then we were going through that process of adapting Marriott's commitment to clean to our hotel, making sure it was making sense from our operational standpoints. And then I got a call from our partner with Oilers Entertainment Group saying, we have an opportunity with the league. It's super secret. Only 2 of you in the hotel can know. Swear to secrecy. We need yesterday your entire cleanliness plan and how you could pull off hosting 6 teams in your building for up to 70 days and what service would look like. And so basically, what is your plan for that? And we need it yesterday. So we had pulled actually a lot of it together because we were planning for what that new normal would look like. So I submitted that out. Then there was basically silence until May, maybe June. There were a couple odd questions here and there. As I look back and dot the lines, our partners with OEG were just scouring the news and and basically the landscape of any other bids that were being leaked and details, and then kind of readjusting there. So from time to time, I would get a little bit of contact in saying, "Hey, Stephen, we need some imagery of the 5th floor patio, or can you send us what the spa stuff looks like? We need some more imagery there." And then absolutely nothing. I got a call from the league early June saying, "Hey, we just need you to fill out this form. It's rates and space." We've all gone through that. I tried to ask a bunch of questions, and she just said, "Just send me the form." And then nothing. And then we got a call from the league, early July. And it was basically, "We're coming in 2 weeks, be ready." And that was essentially how all that worked out. And then we had to, and then that was, there was a lot in the middle as far as from that point for that next 2-3 weeks. It was really me getting our hotel partners all aligned, making sure that every one of us, while we're all very different, I mean, JWs and Deltas and Westons and various products are all very different. We still wanted to be able to ensure that we were providing similar experience on the cleanliness side, the protocol side. By then, the NHL had given us their overarching protocols. So making sure that was all working through, and then teeing up with Janelle and her team, because there was a place there for items that were going to be coming through Explore Edmonton on brand building and really just, adding that extra special Edmonton touch to what we do. Quick piece that I wanted to add, and it segues to what Janelle had just said. We won because for a number of reasons, but I don't think it could ever be understated, the collaboration in our city. I mean, we're, about 1 million people. We're not huge, but we're not small either. And this market has been known for being extremely cooperative with each other, whether it be competing hotels or competing venues, or where we, often will live in this competing space constantly. Whenever there is a common goal, I haven't seen anything like what this city pulls through. And that's a testament to Nicola and Edmonton Tourism on keeping us all, informed on what the end goal is. But being able to go from, okay, maybe we have it, to having it, I don't know that it happens as quickly or as seamlessly anywhere else that it did here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does definitely, it sounds like, I mean, if I think of bids and governments and you just think quite bureaucracy, quite slow, getting the right people, it sounds like you bash through lots of barriers and just we're all on the same page of getting this done. Is that the case, or was there some bumps along the road?
Yeah, I'll let
Janelle,
Janelle go into it a bit. I know, I can't say from Oilers Entertainment Group's standpoint, I can't necessarily put words in their mouths, but I know that they were confident, basically promising anything, knowing that we had their backs. But Janelle has way more detail on that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Steven said, we literally found out 2 weeks before teams were touching down at the Edmonton International Airport that we had been selected as the NHL hub city. I mean, for people who are in the business of organizing events, 2 weeks is not even comprehensible to get everything in place that you need in order to meet, all of the requirements and to be successful. If for an event of this magnitude, we would start planning out, I would say, years in advance to really take advantage of this opportunity. But everybody just stepped up. All the health authorities, our governments, all the local vendors that really had to step up and provide the necessary, things that were needed inside of the bubble and to protect the bubble. We were nimble and we just adapted because we wanted so badly for this to be a positive story and a positive example for events within this crazy time that, it will be written about in history books. And we made it happen. And a big shout out to Oilers Entertainment Group, who really never missed a beat and just continued to lead with that contagious spirit of let's get it done. And of course, player safety was the greatest concern for the NHL, but for Edmontonians, their safety was the greatest concern for our public health officials. Of course, if there was an outbreak within the bubble that could not be contained and it eventually led to community spread, this would have been a huge failure. And, we would have let down our citizens. So the NHL, Oilers Entertainment Group, City of Edmonton, the government of Alberta, all the health authorities did everything in their power to ensure that didn't happen and that a safe playing environment was structured for everyone involved for this to come to life.
Yeah. So you talked about vendors and what I really liked about the case study that I've seen so far is that we do want to get back to live, all of us, and we want to have lots of meaningful numbers in venues, etc. But we don't want to feel like we're going to a hospital appointment. We, whilst there's safety protocols that need to be done, whether it's testing or whatever, what I liked about your case study was some of the personalization that was done throughout the experiences. So, Janelle, can you tell us a little bit about some of those things that you put in place to really bring the character of the destination to life?
Yeah, I mean, from a marketing and promotions lens, not being able to enhance the activations of this event within our city and drive visitation to attend the event, I think that literally goes against the core of what we do. So we had to pivot and support the event through, really a digital lens and try and engage Edmontonians to connect with hockey fans from around the world and encourage them to visit when it's safe to do so. So it's a really challenging balancing act of promoting Edmonton as a hub city, but also not encouraging gatherings or visitation. And I can kind of get into a bit of the exposure that this created for us. But I think to get back to your original question, we really had to think outside the box on how we could leverage local product and the talented individuals that exist in the Edmonton community to create a safe, high-end, exclusive experience from inside the bubble, because all of those players and the guests that are staying in the JW Marriott Hotel, they leave Edmonton and we want them to be ambassadors for our city. So we really did everything we could. We thought of a million crazy ideas, and obviously due to the restrictions, about almost a million of them couldn't happen, but we managed to. We got one of a hairdresser, Craig Craig Boa from Weekly True Trim, which is a really popular and trendy hair salon here, set up a pop-up shop and spent 5 days cleaning up the playoff hair. We had Edmonton chef and winner of Master Chef Canada, Trevor Connie. So he was called in to cook for the bubble. He was in that video. Some teams and staff managed to make it out to a couple of our beautiful golf courses within the city that were entirely booked out for players and staff. We offered up Commonwealth Stadium, which is our 60,000 seat open air stadium, for the NHL to use because they needed some outdoor recreation and leisure space. So we tried to make that happen for them. And of course, we provided some local high-end gifts for players and NHL staff and media, just a sense of kind of being at home. The main gift for the players was a Pura Botanicals beard oil, which is intended to keep the playoff beards in check. So, and then we also worked with Pride Tape, and we purchased over 600 rolls of multicolored hockey tape to show support to young LGBTQ players and promote inclusivity in sport. So we tried to capture as much as we could. But the ideas that we got kind of in our brainstorm sessions about how to leverage this event, those are legacy ideas that we can now apply to other event opportunities. So yeah, it was a pretty special time for our city. And I think minus the fact that the Oilers didn't win the Stanley Cup, we're all pretty proud of how it turned out.
Stephen, did you have personalization? Did you have wraps in the lifts or something? Was that you guys?
Yes. And you know what? I think, Janelle, I love the beard one, but I think I'll add some context to that. A tradition in playoff hockey is players don't shave from the beginning of the playoffs to the end. It's a superstition. So the beard thing's important. I can't grow one, but in the playoffs, the beard thing is important. They come down to here. It's crazy. There's a bunch of lumberjacks running around the hotel by the end. Sorry, what was the question?
So again, from the hotel's perspective, the personalization, but also just touch on, you were already starting to work on COVID-safe sort of hygiene for normal return to life, but did you have to go over and above, or was it already in plan, so you kind of just had to adapt?
Yeah, two parts. So the personalization side, one little thing that we did, hand sanitizer. I mean, my goodness, there's a local distillery, Strathcona Spirit, because of the pandemic, really needed to adapt what they were doing. They make vodkas and gins and stuff. They took a section of their home distillery and started making hand sanitizer. So we bought all of our hand sanitizer from a local supplier, which was one little thing that we could do to bring in local. As far as personalization goes, we're a brand new hotel. We were open August 2019. The tech in our hotel is the envy of most that we're able to do. One personalization we did is every team kind of had their own meal room. So we customized all the lighting in their rooms. We can change it to any colors. So they had their team colors there. We brought in some suppliers to help with decals and anything else that teams wanted to do to make their spaces their own. Every team had their own guest room floors. So it was about 2 to 3 floors per team. It was another part that we had to try to keep people together but apart as much as we could. And that's where the elevator wraps came in. So if you came off of, let's say, the Vegas Golden Knights floor, when you went to go back, the elevator from their end had their team logo on it. So as you moved through the whole very distinct tribal areas, I guess you could call them, of how the hotel was divided up. On the cleanliness standpoint, yeah, I mean, Marriott had a great commitment to clean that they popped in April. So it was really soon after, at least in Canada, our world started changing very, very, very dramatically. I'm seeing right now the time hop of year over year. So all my friends right now, this time last year, and our industry was going through, wow, this is the last time I did this before COVID. So that's kind of happening this week. So it's bringing me back to that year. So Marriott brought their commitment to clean out, but every hotel is different. Every hotel has different brand standards. We're still a modern luxury hotel. Operationally, how we're built, everything is different. So we still had to personalize it to us. We had engineering build So once we got that, our general manager and our operations people really led this mindset that, okay, this is great, but let's look at everything we do from a service standpoint. And if at any point we feel that we could have an associate within 6 feet of a guest for longer than a minute or two, we need to revisit how we do it. Mm-hmm. So either we need to put a physical barrier up, or we have to change how that service looks. So when we had done all of that, then we started sending those pieces out. The league basically had to take what we were doing at face value. I had done some videos and stuff like that for our league contact of what we had planned and what we were going to set up. I had sent 3D floor plans, but everyone's had those until you walk into the venue. Who knows sometimes. We invited Alberta Health Services with the league and Steve Meyer, who was on the video, our primary NHL contact, about a week before the players were arriving, fully expecting there to be changes. And Alberta Health Services walked through and just, no, this is perfect. And they brought some of that back, not only just for the other NHL hotels, because there were a couple more in the beginning, the Delta and the Sutton Place. But in general, they have taken kind of what we've done and said, yeah, you know what, we should really look at what the JW is doing. These are some great best practices.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, the point of this case study today is, you've held such a, major event, and there's got to be learnings that the whole industry, can take forward to getting back to life. Let's say, Nicola, if you're still there, let's get you back on screen. Nice to see you again. Nicola,
I am.
What's your take on all that? And well, actually, let's go back a bit. So I don't know Edmonton that well, but where is it? How do we get there? What's the practicalities for event profs considering it?
Yeah, I know. In the excitement of me wanting to let these guys take the floor, I didn't even kind of set the scene in terms of where is Edmonton. And I'm sure there are many of you who may have never heard of Edmonton before. But Edmonton is in Alberta, which is a province in Western Canada. As Stephen mentioned, just over a million, about 1.4 million people living in Edmonton. It's the capital of Alberta, and the fifth largest city in Canada. So it actually makes Edmonton the largest northernmost metropolis in North America. So there's a bit of a statement there. And I guess a good way to describe the city is, and you will have seen from the video, it's a real vibrant urban centre, but it really borders, or it's in the heart of the wilderness, and it borders and is the gateway to Jasper in the Canadian Rockies. So it truly is typical of a lot of Canadian cities that you have that urban space in that wilderness environment. But I think Edmonton really truly is that because of its northern location. And in terms of the focus for industry and sector strengths, we're focused on health and life sciences. We've got incredible expertise in the tech sector, particularly around AI and machine learning. We're Canada's kind of energy capital, sustainability. We have a really strong commitment to through the City of Edmonton's climate resilience strategy plan. So there's some incredible expertise in the city that, as the M&C team, we're really focusing on those now and looking for those business events that have the right fit for the city. And then everything that Janelle and Stephen have talked about, that partnership, that real strong community to bring those events together and to make them successful, is what I've seen in my time with Travel Alberta. I engaged with the Edmonton team, but even now, having been with the team for 4 months, I just see that is such a huge strength for the city, that partnership and that collaboration. And I think that's going to be crucial as we move forward to live. But just to follow on very quickly on from those safety protocols that Stephen and Janelle mentioned, the city's actually continuing to prepare for the return to live events. And they're currently pursuing a GBAC star destination certification. And GBAC is Global Biorisk Advisory Council. I'm having to read that because I would never remember it. And they are essentially the leading trade association for the cleaning industry worldwide. So that will initially include 38 hotels, Rogers Place, which is where the NHL teams were playing, both of our convention centres, because as I mentioned, Explore Edmonton is also the venue management. So under our umbrella are the two large convention centres. So that's over 60,000 square feet of meeting space, the airport and ground transportation companies. So all of that is coming under that GBAC Star accreditation. So we will be sharing more information about that with the industry once that accreditation is fully rolled out. But I think that's really exciting, and that's just going to help us with that return to live. And then we're there just to really kind of be that point of contact. I'm here in the UK, so a shout out to MySbook. We're on the platform, so all my contact details are there. But yeah, if you're looking at North America, I think Canada has a huge opportunity, given I think what events are going to be looking for in the future in terms of that open spaces, maybe those urban locations that don't feel overcrowded. And certainly Edmonton really has that feel, but then being so close to the amazing Rockies and having that kind of wilderness on your doorstep could be the perfect kind of location for your future business events. So
well said, Nicola. Lovely. We're out of time. Thank you so much, Nicola, Stephen, and Janelle for your time today. Really appreciate it. Contact details for Explore Edmonton are on mysbook.com.